I started out using when I was starting out in digital marketing.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
such like a good, well, for me, I've got like such like OCD and stuff. So like having things mapped out and like figuring out how things go into certain things, not just for like, processes, but also like for digital strategy. Like
Yeah.
it's super handy
Yeah.
to know like a flow map for like a buyer journey and
Yeah.
stuff. So tell us your story, Amy. So, what's your position at Lucidchart and, what do you do?
Yeah. So I'm an account manager at Lucidchart.
Mhm.
I've been with the company for almost a year now. It's growing quite rapidly. So we initially started out in Utah, headquartered there.
Mhm.
And, OG, as you mentioned, it's been like 11 years.
11 years?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know it's been that long.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
it's grown so much.
Wow.
Yeah, so Lucidchart, right? We started out as more of like that intelligent diagramming tool for like marketers that they can work on customer journey mapping, even down to like your technical folks for architectural diagrams
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So a broad range of use cases, and then especially given COVID, so in the last 2 years, we were, I would say, luckily, but we are like a benefiter of COVID because a lot of people did look to Lucid to use for a hybrid work environment to be able to work synchronously as well as asynchronously.
Yeah.
So it's been definitely a journey to be here in Australia, seeing the growth of just remote work as well as just being able to collaborate across time zones, across countries,
Okay.
and enabling companies to still pretty much be able to reach out to their market, connect with their customers, still using Lucid. So yeah.
So you've been Lucidchart for just over a year. Was it always in Australia, or did you come over to Australia and start at Lucidchart, or how did that happen?
Well, I'm originally from the States. However, I joined Lucid when it was already here in Australia.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, that's good. And so with your experience then at Lucidchart, who do you find as sort of your usual clients that you work with, and what are some of the like pain points or issues that you try to use Lucidchart to help solve?
Yeah. So broad range of use cases. But yeah, to our point, mainly they are like more of the technical folks, right? So like your software engineers, engineers in general, like IT folks, all those like technical folks really like Lucidchart because we provide more than just like a quick little flow chart, but we can as well. So that's why the broad application applies to even like HR for org charting, for marketing, for like customer journey mapping, for sales, for some of the account planning. So in that regards, those are our target audience around the technical users.
Yeah, I really like that because that's such a multiple use factor, not just for like technical, but also just for strategists and for ops people, and so figuring out processes. Like it's super lucid in a sense, as
and it helps them collaborate.
Exactly, it's a great collaboration
Yeah.
tool. I was going to say that, and you can also invite people into the platform. Like if you're running like workshops and stuff, you can like while you're on the Zoom call, there's an integration with Zoom now, isn't there?
Yeah, that's correct. Wow, you're up to speed.
No,
you know.
Well, when it happened, I was like, I'll try this out, and it was pretty cool. Like there's one for Mural too, and a few other similar platforms. But I guess on that note, then, how does sort of Lucidchart differ from all those other now kind of spawned out of Lucidchart platforms? Like you've got like Miro and Mural and FlowMap. There's
Figma
a whole Figma.
Yeah.
There's so many different ones out there. How does it sort of like compare now to that? Is it what is the key differentiator between all those competitors and Lucidchart?
Yeah. So I think the easiest thing to kind of run through it is that with Lucid, we're the only platform that is a full visual collaboration suite. So yeah, that sounds a bit like a mouthful, but what it really is just that like we work from literally from end to end, in the sense that you start brainstorming, you really start ideating and using sticky notes, just like talking, timing each other on like a whiteboard, digital whiteboard, and then from there, how do you move that into executing that? Like, where do you decide to let's actually map out this process? So Lucid, it's the only tool in the market at the moment that is allowing you to go from brainstorming, ideating, all the way to like executing, being able to document the process, being able to execute on it, and at the same time communicating just through like Zoom, Microsoft Teams. We integrate with like Google, right? So all the main tech providers in that sense. We all work with them.
And so like with now customer centric approaches being like the key thing for a lot of businesses, like small, medium, large, they're all worried about their customers and how they're always going to be treating their customers the best way they can throughout the whole process, from the moment they enter the website to the moment that they leave. How does sort of Lucid sort of fit into that sphere of like, I guess, consumer like relationship management, when it comes to like a CRM, like how does Lucid fit in with those, those use cases?
Right. Yeah. No, that's a really good question. So yeah, it sounds like a bit more on like a marketing use case. Yeah. So it would be a little bit more technical in the sense that perhaps there are folks who are creating like wireframes, so literally creating maybe the actual profile and what goes on what in the website.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are able to help you visualize that, and then you're able to show like layers between the future and present state. So perhaps like the team can collaborate on
like on buyer journeys, if you like, have a
Yeah.
certain current state, and you can have a future state below.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
goes for personas and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
you use that sort of like as well as a template a lot of the time. You guys have, I know I've seen your library, like it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're doing a persona thing, here's a template for
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
do
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, you can start from that.
Yeah,
and,
it's
so
great.
you don't have to like start from scratch.
No, it's I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of people can find the whiteboard, and even though it's like very freeing and creative, they can find it quite daunting,
There's
right?
a lot.
Yeah. So like, do you deal a lot with your clients who use Lucidchart? How do you sort of introduce them into the concept of starting out with like a blank slate?
Yeah.
Is it just figuring out what they want, or like what their pain points are, or how they want to start?
Yeah, it's typically dependent on like what they're doing, what matters to their clients. Because at the end of the day, like Lucid can be applied to quite a lot of different use cases. So it wouldn't make sense to run through architectural diagram or like the features and functions of that.
Yeah.
If they're really just focused on trying to figure out more of the marketing side, user customer journeys, even like a funnel, right? Like a marketing funnel, and like leads coming into the to the site and whatnot, collecting that data. So it gets a little bit more, I guess, granular once we figure out, what matters more to the customer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's probably just how you help that customer success, is figuring out what would benefit them the most to start with, which is great. Like, I love that you guys are so like customer centric on your clients, and I've seen that experience having used Lucidchart myself for a while. Now you guys are great at doing that. So I did have a question sort of about then integrations, because we touched upon Zoom, and now that you can do that, is there any other key integrations you think with other people's tools that they use, in digital marketing, that would be really helpful to know that Lucidchart integrates with?
Yeah. So that's a really good point, because our integrations is one of the main reasons a lot of our market or like a target audience really like. So some things like Confluence, right? So Jira. What else is there? There's Microsoft Team, like that tech stack, so MS365 suite, as well as like Google.
Great. Yeah.
So pretty much any and all.
So the major ones, right? Like really big ones, like the ones you just told
we
about.
do like even integrate with other project management tools like Asana.
Ooh,
that one's a bit newer.
I've seen that. It was recent. I saw that. Yeah, because I just moved off Asana to another platform. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's an interesting. But how does that going to work in with the whole user process of like using Asana and Lucid? Like, what's the integration kind of look like?
Yeah. So like, I would say like. I mean, like, I haven't had too many customers ask for the integration.
Yeah, sure.
But from my understanding, it's pushing it into some of their like task management, so that they can figure out, okay, this is what we need to work on in terms of the process. Just pushing it into Asana. But we've definitely got like a lot of integrations coming out as well. And then like, I suppose on even a different side of things, more technical, we also integrate with like AWS, which are more of the cloud providers.
Oh, yeah.
GCP, as well as like Azure. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. You guys have got a lot of things covered there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So is there anything sort of to expect coming out soon from Lucidchart we should keep an eye out for? You guys got any major launches, promotions, events coming out that we should keep an eye out for?
Really good point. I think for us this year, especially in the Australian region, we're looking to get back into the events, really put our face out there, be able to meet our clients, see what else they need. Because we're always like ready for the feedback from our clients, just so we know what we need to build for the product as well. But in terms of like features and functionality of the platform, we are like, our product team is so quick, always consistently updating every month or even like every few weeks. So sometimes I'm just like, oh wow, this is a great new functionality. Just pushing it out to the customer and letting them know about it.
Well, that's why it's great as like a SaaS-based platform, right? Because it just can like update on the spot. You could wake up the next morning and go, oh, okay,
I got that now.
It does this now. That's really nice. That's the one thing about the UI of Lucid I've always kind of liked. It's very easy to navigate on the platform. You can search for things quite easily. You can folder things. I mean, it depends what tier you're on, like, how much of the tool you have available to you. But I guess that begs the question then, what would you recommend as, like, say, between like a small startup, kind of company wanting to use Lucid versus maybe an enterprise level? Like, what do you think are the sort of the key things you should take at certain levels within your journey of using Lucidchart in terms of the size of your company?
Right. Yeah, it's a really good point. What I find really actually unique about Lucid is that you can scale it. So depending on how many licenses and depending on, like, if people need to be editing or just probably viewing and commenting, you can scale that up to the enterprise level where perhaps not everyone's going to be needing to edit. Perhaps, like, senior leadership just wants to look at it, make a quick comment. So it's very scalable in the sense of depending on how big the organization is, depending on who needs to be editing, like perhaps HR wants editing license for the org chart, perhaps like marketing, there's just a few folks that need to be facilitating the brainstorming sessions, things like that. So it really depends on the customer and what is their needs. So it's quite a unique tool in that sense where you can scale up just dependent on the customer's needs.
Awesome. Well, that's really cool. And so just to bring it back to where we are today, DigiMarCon, you guys have a stall set up there just at the back next to all the other vendors along the line there next to the stage. I mean, not that I saw you, you're not hidden. So if you are at DigiMarCon, if you're watching this at DigiMarCon right now, or you're coming either today or tomorrow, you guys will be around all day and tomorrow. Are you doing any prezos or anything like that, or doing any workshops?
We're doing like Demonstrations and just like quick overview. We have blue light glasses there, so
sure do. That's what I'm wearing right now. I don't actually wear glasses. These are the Lucidchart branded ones. And they're really great. Like I don't even feel like I'm wearing them, to be honest.
And they just fit so well.
Thank you. I think it actually suits my style. I look way more intelligent than I actually am. So look, Amy, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for chatting.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, absolutely no. Thank you for your time, and you're always welcome back. But enjoy the rest of DigiMarCon. And if you're around, please come see Amy or come see her crew. They're all very lovely, lovely people. Come chat to them, and then find a solution for your business. As we've talked about, anything works with Lucidchart. Anything works. That should be a new slogan.
Anything works.
Just gave it to you. That's a free one.
I'll use that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Amy. All right.